Okay, so what if the reason most people never become wealthy has absolutely nothing to do with how much money they actually make? Seriously, think about it. What if the real barrier isn't your paycheck, but rather how you think about money? Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a fascinating journey through a 30-day challenge that was designed to completely short-circuit average investing habits and replace them with the core principles used by the world's most successful investors. We're going to break down exactly what happens when you decide to invest like a billionaire for an entire month.
Right off the bat, the premise of this experiment is built around stopping a very specific and, honestly, a very common cycle. Think about the typical retail investor today. It's just this endless, stressful loop, right? Chasing random stocks, panic selling the second the market dips, jumping on some new trend just because someone on the internet says it's going to explode tomorrow. The whole shebang. Oh, and anxiously checking the portfolio literally every 5 minutes. The goal of this challenge was to completely sever that cycle. We wanted to see what actually happens when you step back and turn off the noise.
Okay, let's dive into this. Instead of reacting to the daily market chaos, the experiment replaced all that noise with one single, incredibly powerful question. What would an extremely wealthy long-term investor do? And you know what? Adopting this mindset over the course of 30 days revealed something completely counterintuitive. The absolute biggest lesson in investing actually isn't about how to make money. It's about how not to lose it.
Section 1. Day 1. The rules of the game.
Look, investing without rules, that quickly turns into gambling, pure and simple. So we had to lay out the foundational principles before the journey even began. First up, think long-term. This means shifting your brain from asking, will this stock rise next week, to, would I want to own this business for 10 years? It's all about value, not just a price tag. Second, don't buy what you don't understand. Actually, scratch that. It's more like, if you can't explain how a business makes money to a 5-year-old, you don't buy it, period. Third is protecting the downside. Fourth, don't follow the crowd, which means completely ignoring market hype and panic. And finally, keep some cash. Why? Because cash gives you options when those golden opportunities finally pop up.
So the crucial point is that 100% figure right there. Why is it so critical? Because while everyone else loves asking how much they can make, successful investors are always asking how much they could lose. I mean, making a 50% return is incredibly exciting, for sure, but losing 50%? That is mathematically devastating. If you lose half your portfolio, you literally need a 100% gain just to get back to zero. The goal isn't maximum excitement, folks, it's survival.
Moving on to Section 2, the trials, navigating boredom and panic.
Now, the reality of investing like a billionaire contrasts really sharply with the adrenaline-fueled hype of social media. By day 3 of the experiment, something strange happened: boredom. There was absolutely no adrenaline, no constant buying, no checking charts every 3 minutes, and the realization hit that good, solid investing can actually be incredibly, remarkably boring. But here's the secret. The lack of constant action is a feature, not a bug, of a wealthy mindset.
We all know how it is online. Investing is portrayed as instant riches. A stock goes up, someone gets rich, a new opportunity flashes, and you feel like you just have to buy in immediately. But real wealth is completely different. It involves buying something sensible, keeping your day job, waiting, and letting time do the heavy lifting. It's a slow burn, not a flashy firework.
Then boom, day 7, the first real test arrived. The market moved against a position, and naturally, panic set in. Your brain literally screams at you to get out. But the antidote? The antidote is taking a breath and asking yourself one vital question. Has the underlying business fundamentally changed, or did the price simply move? You see, falling prices don't automatically mean a bad investment. You have to separate temporary market pessimism from an actual mistake you made in your initial analysis.
And then came day 10, bringing our old friend, the fear of missing out. A trending asset was getting massive attention. Everyone was calling it a 10x opportunity. The temptation to chase it was huge. You're basically faced with a choice. Option A, a thrilling story with a huge potential return, but enormous risk. Or Option B, a reasonable return with a much higher chance of survival. People absolutely love the thrill of Option A, but wealth is actually created through Option B. It's the result of sensible, repeated decisions over time, not one giant lucky spin of the roulette wheel.
Section 3. Day 14. The compounding engine.
And this brilliantly illustrates the true unstoppable force in long-term wealth building. At the halfway mark, the focus shifted away from daily returns and heavily toward time. Let's talk about compounding. If you invest 10,000 rupees and earn a 10% annual return, after 1 year, you've got 11,000 rupees. Simple enough, right?
But the magic happens the next year, because your new 10% return is calculated on that 11,000, not your original 10. Over long periods, this creates a magic cycle of money building on top of money. But here's the uncomfortable truth of this 30-day challenge. You simply cannot compress 30 years of this compounding magic into a single month. You just can't cheat time.
By day 18, we hit the biggest temptation of the entire experiment. A highly trending asset was literally everywhere, and everyone was incredibly bullish on it. But stopping to ask, do I truly understand this, is exactly what saves you. There is a massive, massive difference between genuinely researching an opportunity and merely chasing a trend. One is investing, the other quickly slips into pure, unadulterated speculation.
So day 21 brought a real game changer of a breakthrough. Listen, successful investors do not have a crystal ball. They don't predict the future, they don't predict inflation, and they certainly don't predict the daily news. Instead, they focus solely on what they can actually control: their diversification, their risk levels, and most importantly, how they behave when everyone else is panicking. They focus on their own consistent behavior over decades, entirely ignoring the uncontrollable noise.
And let me tell you, you absolutely need that control, because on day 24, the market finally dropped and the portfolio looked significantly worse. It is incredibly easy to say you're a long-term investor when everything is green and climbing. But the second you see red numbers on your screen, suddenly a 10-year holding period feels like 10 minutes. That's why this rule hits the nail on the head. Have a strategy before the panic happens. You never, ever want to be deciding what to do while you are terrified.
Section 4. Day 27, the most important lesson. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the psychological pivot that took place here. The exhausting obsession over daily profits just vanished. It was completely replaced by one simple question: did I follow my strategy today?
Think about going to the gym. You would never judge your fitness by checking the mirror to see if you gained new muscle every single afternoon. That's crazy, right? You know it's a process. You show up, you train, you eat properly, and you repeat. Well, investing is exactly the same. The individual day matters far, far less than the behaviors you repeat over years. And finally, Section 5, Day 30, the final verdict.
Let's move to and see how this builds our final takeaways. Did this 30-day experiment create a millionaire? Obviously not. A month is practically meaningless compared to decades of investing. But financially, the challenge was a massive success because it forged a durable system designed to survive good markets, bad markets, and emotional impulses. This leaves us with 5 big lessons. Number 1, sustainable wealth takes time. It is not built overnight. Number 2, you always have to ask what could go wrong because risk matters just as much as return. Number 3, consistency beats excitement, so boring can actually be beautiful. Number 4, fear and FOMO are wealth killers. Do not invest emotionally. And number 5, you just need a reasonable strategy and enough time for compounding to work because time is your absolute real superpower.
Ultimately, this is the grand secret. Extremely wealthy investors don't possess some hidden magical stock that nobody else knows about. They simply tolerate uncertainty better than the rest of us. They avoid unnecessary risk. They think way beyond next week. They fundamentally understand that you don't get rich by constantly trying to get rich quickly. You get wealthy by staying in the game long enough for your good decisions to compound.
So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Would you be willing to give up the adrenaline rush of chasing trends? Would you try investing like a billionaire for 30 days? Let us know. Comment yes or no down below. And hey, if you want to keep exploring the habits that actually create lasting wealth, make sure you subscribe to Wealthverse for more money experiments and wealth-building insights. Thanks so much for joining this explainer, and remember, keep focusing on the long game.